Starting off at number 10, I have Chris Davis in 2018. Let's start this off with the most recent on this list, and that's Chris Davis. Back in the late 2010s, we had the likes of Mike Trout and Mookie Betts taking over the game offensively, but did anyone see Chris Davis posting 3 seasons in a row with at least 40 home runs? In his first few seasons with the Brewers, he hit for some decent power, but after being traded to the A's, he started going off, hitting a combined 133 home runs from 2016 to 2018. His best season at the plate came in 2018, when he slugged 48 homers with 123 ribbies and posting a WRC plus of 136. After this, though, he started to fade and eventually started to play in the independent leagues. At number 9, I have Bill Miller in 2003. Most people will remember Bill Miller for his clutch game-tying base hit off Mariano Rivera in Game 4 of the 2004 ALCS, but did you remember that he was also the American League batting champion in 2003? The Red Sox lineup in 2003 was historic, ranking 9th all-time in offense on Fangraphs. It goes to show how good that offense was, considering Miller mostly batted in the bottom half of the order that season. Overall, he hit an AL leading .323 with a .398 on base and a .540 slugging. There was even one game in Texas where he hit 3 home runs, 2 of them being grand slams from both sides of the plate, and overall he had 9 RBIs in the game. In fact, to this day, Bill Miller is the only player ever to hit a grand slam from both sides of the plate. At number 8, I have Alfonso Soriano in 2006. When it comes to players that hit for power and have speed, Ronald Acuna Jr. has been all the rage these days, considering he just created the 40-70 club last year. Alfonso Soriano was also one of those players that excelled at both, but most people will remember for his time with the Yankees and the Cubs. However, there was actually one season where he played for the Nationals in 2006, and that season he made history, becoming only the 4th player in Major League Baseball history to hit 40 homers and steal 40 bases in a single season. At number 7, I have Brian Dozier in 2016. When it comes to underrated players, I think Brian Dozier has to be considered, and his 2016 season is one when I see it, I go, wow, he did do that, didn't he? For the first few seasons of his career, Dozier was a pretty solid player, averaging a .726 OPS and around 20 homers per season, and even making the All-Star team in 2015. In 2016, though, he just blew up out of nowhere, hitting 42 home runs with 99 ribbies and posting an OPS of .886. After another very good season in 2017, his numbers started to fade, but did eventually help the Nationals win the World Series in 2019. At number 6, I have Carlos Gomez in 2013. There was a time when Carlos Gomez was turning into one of the most electric players in the game, showing the ability to hit for power with speed. I also feel like people will mostly remember Gomez for when he pimped that home run against the Braves, and then Brian McCann got in his way and basically said, "You shall not pass," like Gandalf the Grey. In 2013, though, he had himself a great season, hitting .284 with a .338 on base and slugged .506, while also hitting 24 home runs and stole 40 bags. Before I get to the rest of the video, I just want to shout out today's sponsor, and that's our friends over at BetUS. They offer a wide range of betting, including sportsbook, from baseball to football, basketball, hockey, or even mixed martial arts. For Major League Baseball, you can do game props, player props, live in-game betting, as well as futures bets. They have great customer service, so if you ever need help with anything, they're either a phone call or online message away. Right now, they're offering a 125% bonus up to $2,500 on your first 3 deposits. Also, if you DM me on Twitter showing me your account number, you will get $25 to play with, no strings attached. To sign up, just click the link in the description down below, but please make sure to play responsibly. Now let's get back to the video. At number 5, I have Richard Hidalgo in 2000. Here's a name that I definitely think people will have going, oh yeah, he was pretty good at one point, wasn't he? Hidalgo was pretty good for the Astros in his first couple of seasons, posting a combined OPS of .783, but in 2000, he went crazy, posting an OPS of 1.028 with 44 home runs and 122 RBIs. During this time, you had the likes of Barry Bonds, Alex Rodriguez, Sammy Sosa, and others, so he was definitely overshadowed a bit, but the fact that he ranked 4th in home runs that year should be respected. At number 4, I have Chase Headley in 2012. Ah yes, Yankee legend Chase Headley. A lot of people will remember him taking over at third base for A-Rod, but I wonder if people will remember how good his 2012 season was. 2012 was all about the emergence of baseball's next great player Mike Trout and AL MVP Miguel Cabrera, along with the likes of Buster Posey and Ryan Braun in the National League. However, one guy that got some MVP votes was Chase Headley, who had an extremely good season that year, hitting .286 with a .376 on base and a .498 slugging, while also leading the National League with 115 RBIs. At number 3, I have Grady Sizemore in 2006. There was a time when people were considering Grady Sizemore to be one of the next best players in the game of baseball. Unfortunately, a lot of injuries popped up and we never got to witness a full career from Sizemore, which makes him one of the best what-if players of all time. However, we did see a lot of greatness, especially in 2006, which was the start of an incredible 3-year stretch that cemented him as one of the best players in the game, as he ranked 3rd in Fangraph WAR from 2006 to 2008. His 06 season was the best out of the 3, as he hit .290 with a .375 on base, a .533 slugging, 28 homers, 22 stolen bases, and was an elite defender in center field. He simply did everything great, and it would have been a sight to see if he was healthier. At number 2, I have Darren Erstad in 2000. When I think of the year 2000, I think of the Subway Series between the Yankees and the Mets when Piazza threw a bat at Clemens, the debate of who the best shortstop was between A-Rod, Nomar, and Jeter. It was Nomar, by the way. The emergence of Todd Helton, and sluggers like Bonds, Giambi, and Delgado. As for Darren Erstad, I wonder how many people remember how good he was that year. I actually wonder if his name comes up before other Angels players like Troy Gloss or Tim Salmon. Erstad was so good in 2000, hitting .355 with a .409 on base and a .541 slugging, while also hitting 25 homers, stealing 28 bases, and playing great defense in right field. Also that year, he had 240 hits, which is tied for 13th all-time for a single season, and in one game, he had a leadoff home run as well as a walk-off home run, one of only 6 players to ever accomplish that feat. Angels fans will definitely remember Darren Erstad, though, as he helped them win the World Series just a couple of years later. And at number 1, I have Jacoby Ellsbury in 2011. This one pains me to talk about, but Jacoby Ellsbury in 2011 was something special, and I honestly think what he did is truly forgotten for the most part from that year. He was excellent that year, becoming the 35th player in Major League Baseball history to join the 30-30 club by hitting 32 home runs and stealing 39 bases. Along with this, he hit .321 with a .376 on base and slugged .552. So why isn't this talked about very much? Well, for starters, he came in second in MVP voting in the American League that year behind a pitcher in Justin Verlander, but most of all, the Red Sox had the infamous all-time collapse in September that caused them to miss the playoffs. I truly wonder if the Red Sox hadn't had their epic collapse that month, he would have won the MVP, but in the end, we'll never know, and it will probably be simply forgotten. So that's my list. Let me know some other forgotten seasons down below in the comments. I would love to do another video like this, but that's all I have for right now. If you can on the way out, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you next time.